Hey everyone, it's Agent Drew here. And I'm going to show you how we flipped a house in a panoramic. Now, I know this video seems super long, but I promise you, there's so much information in this video, it's crazy. I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, how we went from the purchase to negotiations to repairs to staging to selling it to everything we did to flip this house the way it did. So, who's we? We is myself, my mom, and my dad. So my dad's over pretty much the renovation process. My mom's over marketing in terms of acquiring the properties and things of that nature. And then I'm licensed to do real estate in the state of Texas. So once we're done with everything, I'll put the listing on the market it like crazy, and get it sold as fast as possible. So what about this house? Where do we get it? Everything about it. So this house was a 4 bedroom, 3 bath house. It was on 1.5 acres in Midlothian. Now, I know when I say Midlothian, for the people that are in Dallas, they may think, oh my gosh, that's so far away from the city. It was actually, believe it or not, maybe no more than 100 feet from the Cedar Hill borderline. So the area was actually super quiet. I mean, it was too quiet, honestly. The trees were ginormous. There were 40-foot trees everywhere. When we bought the property, it was in the wintertime, so there weren't a lot of leaves on the trees to make it kind of look bigger. So all the leaves are actually on the ground, and you'll see that there in a second. So yeah, let's look at the before pictures. All right, so how do we get this deal? We actually found this deal on the MLS. It was listed by a real estate agent, and shout out to Patsy. I mean, she was great. I learned a lot from her, especially being a young, fresh real estate agent. I learned a lot about negotiations from her and things of that nature. So shout out to her for everything that she's taught me in that one transaction. She taught me so much. So we got the deal by we just booked a normal tour, normal showing. We went and looked at the house. We saw the potential that it had. It had decent bones and didn't have to be torn down to the studs or anything like that. We love the layout. We love that it was a ranch home. It had a detached garage, which was super cool. Kind of left that for the buyer of ourselves for whatever they wanted to do with it. And I'll let you know a couple stories about that later on in the video. But once we walked through, we kind of knew what we wanted to do with the home, and we had kind of an estimate of repairs and what we can sell it for in the future. There's actually a house across the street that had the exact same floor plan as this house. So we were able to kind of compare pretty much apples to apples on their renovations versus our renovations and the price that we could get if we renovated it just a little bit more or use different materials and have a better market, honestly. We saw this house twice before we put an offer in, and we wanted to make sure because it was a huge project. I mean, the sales price was near $400,000, and for all my California people laughing at me, in Texas, that's a big price. So we went in twice before we put an offer. We put an offer in, and it was accepted after I believe we came up $7,000. And so we kind of figured, okay, $7,000, fine. We'll do demo ourselves and get that taken care of and save the labor on that just so we can get the project and get started. So we went into our option period. I think we had a 14-day close and maybe a 10-day option. So as soon as we got into the option period, we had contractors come out. We got two bids from two different contractors, and we started kind of running out of time ish a little bit in terms of option period. I will say option periods are really, really tricky for one thing and one thing only. When you start your option period, you really want to take advantage of your calendar. So think about a week, right? If you get under contract, if you put in your offer in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you want a super long option period. And here's why. So say you put an offer in on Thursday, you don't get it signed and accepted back until Friday. So your option period starts that next day on a Saturday. So Saturday and Sunday, it's just wasted. What if Monday's a holiday? You have to put those things into account. So instead of us actually having a 10-day option like we wanted, we really had like a 7-day option minus another day because once you call somebody, they can't really get out that day, things of that nature. So you always want to have a good little option period. And we did make sure we had a lot of time. 2 days before the option period came up, we had to call Patsy back and renegotiate. Like the repairs came back way too high. Our foundation quote came back as we thought it was going to be just a couple of places here and there. It actually was the entire backside of the house, and we'll talk about that later in just a second. So that one came up a little bit more than what we thought. Also, because of the foundation, the roof was doing some weird stuff, so that quote came back a little bit higher than we thought as well. Yeah, so all in all, we had to renegotiate. I think we came down. The list price was $55,000 more than what we got it for. We got a decent deal on it. Numbers made sense, so that's why we went forward with the deal. We got funding through our network. We used private money for this deal, got it funded, got it closed. Had a few hiccups with closings, but that's how real estate is. And we closed. And as soon as we closed, the next day we were out there and we were getting things done. So the first thing we did was that foundation. And here's the reason why. Foundation was done, say, on a Monday, right? That Tuesday and Wednesday, we started demoing. And the reason why you can do it this way is because when foundation is done and you push the house up, but gravity's going to pull it down maybe at, a centimeter, 2 centimeters here and there. You may have cracks in the wall. Things like that happen. So you don't want to do foundation on Monday and then paint the walls on Tuesday. You want to give it at least 2 weeks. Some people say a month, some people say 2 weeks. We're trying to get in and get out. So we did 2 weeks of straight demoing before we actually put new structures into the house so that if the foundation wanted to settle back down again, and which it did, we were okay and we were prepared. Demo was super fun. Like I said, myself, my mom, my dad, we brought in my uncle, 2 uncles, 3 uncles. And got it. It was a whole family thing to get everything done. We called out a demo team to actually drop off one of those long 40-foot yard trash cans, and I'll show you how that works in a second. And once we had everything kind of demoed and put in the pile, then we walked the pile out with a wheelbarrow, put it into the trash can, and just kept the process going. We were stripping down the carpet. We took out walls. We took out all the bathroom, like tub, showers, all that good stuff. Took all the tile out. Pretty much gutted it almost to the stud, so right before the stud. Knocked down the wall, which is super cool. We did do I didn't get it on video, but we did do the HGTV where you throw a hammer at the wall and it sticks. Yeah, that was super cool. Didn't get a video of it, but I promise you we did it. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, or did during that time, I posted a whole bunch of videos on my stories and kind of saved them into my little highlights reel about the entire process. Instagram does have a limit on how many videos you can put on there, which is really why I came to Instagram to put everything together. I think they give you a limit of 40 videos to put in your highlights. So if you actually go to my page, you'll see about half of the project and then it just stops. The reason why is because Instagram gave me that limit. So I'm here now and I'm doing a YouTube video, kind of walking you through the steps a little bit more detail. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that we did a walkthrough with my dad, and we're going to go just put that in here now. He's going to talk to you guys about everything that we did and pretty much the house. Hello.
Hey guys, what's going on? Come on in. Let's show you the progress thus far on our fix and flip.
Don't you just love his YouTube voice? I mean, he's such a natural. All right, you see my cute little dogs there? They're so adorable.
So on the initial video and pictures, you may recall that this was actually a closet that actually protruded into the foyer, so we removed that so that you have a nice open line of sight when you enter the home. So that's been demoed out. That gave us an additional 3.5 feet or so. Position for the kitchen, to open the kitchen out. So what we're gonna do here is actually reduce this wall down to roughly a 4-foot wall, giving us additional 10 feet open space, open concept for the kitchen.
When you first walk in, you take a left. And once you go through that hallway that we knocked down the closet that was coming out, you take a left, and there's a living room there, and then the kitchen is kind of another left. So we knocked down that wall, and I was completely, walled up like we saw the before pictures. So we knocked down that wall, and immediately it made the house look so much bigger, twice as big.
And we're gonna leave a little step up here into the kitchen. And here you'll see our little makeshift outline for our island.
Alright, so you guys can see that the island that was kind of outlined in the toilet paper, it actually ended up being closer to the step than we showed in this video right here. It also became much wider as well. So yeah, things changed during projects, and that's completely fine.
Right behind me here is gonna be additional cabinet space with the range and the stove top and some cabinets above. This is actually the first bedroom, which won't require a lot more than paint. We're gonna add that closet that we demoed on the outside. We're gonna put that back on the inside of the bedroom here, just a small closet. So this still can. And this is one of 3 bathrooms. This has been demoed out. We're gonna put a new vanity in, new toilet, retile the shower. And you can actually pass through this restroom into the second bedroom. And this one will require just some modest updating as well. Paint, we're gonna remove the popcorn ceiling and put new carpet in. And go on in, have a look. So the master has some faux beams, and I think we're gonna probably sand those and keep it in place though, and remove the popcorn, remove the dated ceiling fan. And this is interesting, but there were 3 closets, and we demoed those 3 to combine it into one large closet for the master.
This closet that he's talking about was 3 different closets. So one entryway was from the hallway, the second one was from the bathroom, and the third one was from the actual primary room. And of course, this was filmed before they made the big change from saying master bedroom and bathroom to primary bedroom and bathroom, which I absolutely love. Makes a whole bunch of sense, and I 100% agree.
It's gonna be pretty cool. So here we'll have a double vanity, 60-inch vanity mirror, of course. And we're gonna actually move the opening from here over to the left, 36-inch opening with a barn door, and that's gonna slide to our right here. And it's gonna give you a good line of sight to the inside here. What we're gonna do is actually do a glass and tile walk-in shower here. You'll walk in from the back side. This whole section here will be glass. And then over here will be a freestanding tub. And if you'll notice that both ceilings have its own vaulting, we're gonna actually leave that, just tidy that up. But there'll be vaulting over the tub and vaulting over the shower, which we think is gonna be pretty interesting. And so what we did is we actually stole some space from the wet bar area. This used to be the wet bar. So we're gonna close this in, and that helped us to enlarge the master bath.
Now we're in the bathroom that's on the other side of the house. So I call that area over there like the mother-in-law suite plus the mother-in-law bathroom.
Foot, make it a 4x3, and give ourselves some glass to kind of open up your line of sight and remove this wall as well. So there's just a roomier, more spacious looking restroom. And this one passes through to bedroom number 3. Same thing with the bedrooms. Most of the bedrooms are in okay condition. They will need paint. They will need to have the popcorn ceiling removed and repair a few cracks from the foundation repair. Some of the butt joints are coming apart from the shifting. And so we will tidy that all up and give it nice fresh paint. And then we have the converted garage. I mean, obviously it's a standard garage, 20 by 20. So here is actually going to be, or it actually is the laundry room. And so we'll tidy that up, give it new drywall, cabinet space, countertop for folding, that kind of thing. Actually pretty good size.
Anybody need a bookshelf? Like you said, we went ahead and we re-sheetrocked the whole thing and repainted it. But what we should have done is we should have either A, just paint the paneling and made it white, or we could have taken putty and put them in between the actual lines and then texture the entire wall and then paint the entire wall. we did the labor, but instead of having labor to take the walls down and then put sheetrock up and then tape in bed and then put texture and then put paint, we could have just skipped the first steps and just finished it out and make it look a little bit better. Especially because this was a farmhouse and you can get away with the look like that.
And so this is that converted garage, and it's just pretty much an open 20 by 20 space, like a standard garage. It has a closet, so this actually will be categorized as a bedroom. It has a ventilation system in here as well. So we're gonna make it.
With this converted garage, would you rather do a movie theater or a game room?
You know, I think the movie theater is still pretty popular. This is on 1.5 acres of land, so I think if the family's interested in playing games, they're gonna be outside. And it's a beautiful lot. As a matter of fact, let's go take a peek at the lot. So this is the beautiful lot that I mentioned. I think this is where the family will be playing games if they're into playing games. Cloudy day, but still beautiful nonetheless. So this is probably the back 2/3 of this 1.5 acres of land. Beautiful, large, 40-foot mature trees. It's just a beautiful lot. It really is. And we have a detached garage on this side, which will need some paint and some tidying up as well.
But here's our, what would you call this, waste bin? About the size of an 18-wheeler container. It's got a swing door, super cool. This is from Demo Week. They dropped it off, and when we're done, they'll just come pick it up and take it and do whatever trash goes. All right, so that was pretty much all of Demo and all of the plans we had for the house. Now let's jump into how we actually did it. All right, so you guys can see here in the primary bedroom, we already went ahead and took out the popcorn ceiling and took out the floors as well. And you guys can see here, this is me touching stuff I'm not supposed to be touching, but the way that they take out popcorn ceiling is that they actually spray the ceiling with something that's similar to Goof Off, which takes paint off of surfaces. Go through and they scrape it off. Just put it in a bag and throw it away. So this is that bathroom that was attached to the mother-in-law suite. We framed in that doorway and then we made this larger. If you look at the ceiling, it's open. And the reason why is because we went ahead and put a rain shower in that shower. We didn't do this in the primary shower. It's all good. We sold the house, so it's all good. You'll see this is in the living room. So let's actually stop and we'll talk about the roof a little bit. So the foundation, so the house was a ranch style house, which means it's pretty much just a square like this, super long, and just, you know, like that. So at the very top, there's of the roof. The rafters kind of just sit like there, and this is the entire house all the way down. It's just super long, and it goes all the way down. The foundation was dropping on the backside. We're going to call this the backside over here. It was dropping this way, so because it was dropping, the roof actually started to pull apart from each other. So what we had to do is actually go in and reinforce the roof, add a 26-foot LVL beam to reinforce it. We actually put two together for the weight. And once we did that, we covered it back in sheetrock and then kept going like normal. I want to take a break real quick. So during the entire project, we would bring over our dogs and they would just kind of hang out with us and chill with us and just kind of, you know, while we were working there, we kind of brought them in when the project wasn't as dirty. We kept the site really, really clean for them, honestly, and for ourselves too. We don't want to really be breathing in those chemicals and dust and all that good stuff. So this is a video my mom sent me of my dog asking him, you know, ready to see me, and I thought it was so cute. He just looked so excited to see me, and I thought this was really cute.
You wanna go see Droopy, Cormy? You wanna go see Droopy? You wanna go see Droopy?
So here's the surprise I had. Like I said, we flipped this house in the middle of a panoramic, so there's a lot of things we kind of had to adjust in the project and things of this nature. One of them was just the fact that I was somewhat working from home, and so I was actually going to go over to the house and surprise them and kind of redo this garden you see here, but things changed, so they kind of found out about it because we were pretty much always over there every day because of the pandemic. So alright, so here is the house after demo. This is primer that's on the walls, so texture and primer that's on the walls, as you can see. And then this is that closet that we built in the inside of that first bedroom when you first walk in. Here's that bathroom that's right behind that door. All that's together. And here's a primary bedroom with textured ceiling, textured walls, and primer up. Everything pretty much looks so bright and so white and all that good stuff. And here's that bathroom, gutted everything else, and we close up that wall where the wet bar was. and we have room for the tub there. The house starts to look really, really nice about halfway through the project, and you're starting to have some hope. Here's the kitchen for you. And this is at the ceiling in the living room, all patched up after it was reinforced. Here's a primary bedroom with paint on it. We just went with, it's actually the same paint as what's behind me. We kind of copied and paste the grates, honestly. We copied and paste the painting that we do was popular at the time. And this is that primary bathroom, everything together. We got our vanity in. The countertop was kind of separate, so we're just waiting to put that in. Here's that bathroom that's in the mother-in-law's suite, and you can see the size of this shower is huge. I mean, once you put the glass in, we realized it was way too big. That little square is where the rain shower is going to go. And just like nothing ever happened, we're back a couple weeks later because I realized that I was out of storage and the second half of this video didn't even record. So we're back with part 2-ish of it. And I put on the same shirt just so you guys wouldn't be confused. Okay, so last time we talked, we were talking about refinishing the tub. Great idea, refinish the tub, spend $50 on the tub, and keep it pushing. Renovations are all about getting them done as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible. So here's coming into the bathrooms, about halfway done. Got the vanities in, got the tiling almost done. All right, so we got our tiling in the primary bathroom. Got that pebble tile on the waterfall look, and that pebble tile will also be on the ground. We'll see that on the floor of the shower. We'll also see that in just a second. In this project, it became a lot hands-on, so I ended up doing a lot less filming and a little bit more of just working, honestly. So here's that beautiful kitchen with the granite in. It's already been caulked in. We were debating whether or not to put in hardware on the doors, but I'm so hyped that we did. And you can see here on the side, the countertop crew, they cut our slab a little bit short. Oh, not short, but just the right angle was different than what it was supposed to be. So we just got a new slab on them. And of course, it happened. We forgot about the baseboards. Didn't think about the baseboards in terms of getting our quotes. And then I guess we didn't understand how much baseboards even cost. I mean, they were up there. We kind of stuck in a little hole until I was actually looking for door handles. We changed all the door handles in the house, and I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and things like that. I stumbled upon a guy who was selling baseboards. He was selling a lot, and it was for him. It was for a 1,500 square foot house. And we thought, it'll be a little short, but we can go buy the rest at Home Depot for full price. We ended up using all of the baseboards from that one pile and not needing to go to Home Depot at all. So it all worked out in the long run. And my dad started the project, and then I realized it's not that hard. I mean, a couple of cuts with the miter saw, and you're good to go. So I asked him if I can go ahead and just finish the house with baseboards. He said yes, and that's exactly what I did. So sometimes you just got to get your hands dirty with these projects, and we got the job done. But after playing around with those baseboards for a house that's literally almost 3,000 square feet, I kind of got a little confident in myself, so I gave myself a little project. Underneath the island where the countertop space was, it's kind of bare. It's just gray and just boring. So I thought, why not just take the scrap pieces of wood that we had from all the cedar accents and just add them underneath the island. So that's exactly what I did, and it was super fun and definitely worth the risk. So here's that outside detached garage that we mentioned. Instead of tearing the whole thing down or building out or anything of that nature, it had a sort of a smell in there, and I just think it was just how houses smell when there's no AC pumping through it. So what we did was we ripped out everything that was in there and we sheetrock, taped in bed. So here's the final look of the house. done. We put it on the market, and we were under contract for just a bit. We were under contract for about 45 days, which is a little long, but it's whatever. And this type of home, usually the buyers have to sell their home, and that's exactly what we did. So once we were under contract, we went through my birthday, and for my birthday, I got some golf clubs. And so for Father's Day, we actually went out and played a little golf. So you can always have fun doing these projects. So why did we stage it? Let's take a stop here. We staged the home because once you stage a home, we stage a home because statistically, I'm gonna bring out the facts here. 90% of all people cannot envision a home with furniture in it. So by staging a house, you're making it easier for the buyers that walk through your home to imagine, I sure can live here. Or, hey honey, that's the couch we have. It'll fit in here, we already know it. Or this room is big enough for a king size bed. So just by making it easier for them, you get a lot in return. Once we were done, we listed it and we were live. I had calls coming in while the home was still coming soon, which is something you can do. You can put something on the market for coming soon, And for the first 24 hours, I was getting calls and calls and calls about seeing the property before it goes active, seeing it as soon as it goes active. Can I get in today? My clients are off today. I was getting everything. So we kind of knew that the house was going to sell pretty quick, and we were excited. We were pumped. So after 18 days on market, we're finally under contract. We got a full price offer. The sellers wanted a couple of things we staged the house with. No biggie. The buyers did actually have to sell their house first, and they took care of business. They listed their house, let's say for example's sake, they listed their house for $300,000, and if they didn't get an offer in the first week, which they didn't, they dropped it down $10,000, and they didn't again, so they dropped it down another $10,000. So these sellers and buyers were on their game, and they did exactly what they needed to purchase our house, and I'm super happy for them. So shout out to Susanna. That's the realtor that was on their side. She took care of business on the seller side and got things done so they could purchase the property for our first flip. Even though I was super tough on her the entire time, she got through, and even in negotiations and anything like that, I was honored, but it's all good. We got the house sold. Thank you so much for watching. And with that, this is Agent Drew signing out.